my pleasure to welcome Alyssa Goldfield, an 8th grade student at Lincoln Middle School in the city of Alameda. Alyssa has participated in the Air District's Youth for the Environment and Sustainability for the past 5 years, since she was 8 years old and in 4th grade. This year, she was one of several keynote speakers and the sole middle school student advisory committee member. Alyssa will address how young people view the specter of climate change and how they can be agents of change for addressing this daunting challenge. Welcome, Alyssa Goldfield.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak about climate change. I first witnessed climate change in July of 2014 when my family traveled through 24 days through Alaska and the Yukon. We visited the Kenai Fjords' exit glacier where I learned about the glacial retreat. We hiked to a spot where the glacier used to be in 2005. Along the trail, there were more markers showing where the glacier had been since 1815. I was amazed about how much the exit glacier has receded over that time. While most glaciers have been receding since the last ice age, the exit glacier has been retreating on an average of 46 feet per year since 1815. However, since 2009, the average has increased to 153 feet per year, with 2016 being the largest retreat in recorded history at 293 feet. Over the past 4 YES conferences, I've learned about ocean acidification, air quality, marine life, aquaponics, which is using fish and turtles as waste to fertilize plants and water, and what others are doing to make a positive impact. What really got me interested in climate change was just information and facts on the current environmental state and the full extent of what's to come. What motivated me most was seeing other teens do great things to help the world. Schools in Marin and Sonoma County organized walk and roll to school days and tracked how much carbon they saved by biking and walking instead of driving. A high school student in Pittsburgh took on Big Oil and organized her school to lobby city council to reject coal processing in their city. I met another group from Fremont who were designing a zero-emission vehicle. At my former school, I noticed many students either didn't care or didn't know which bin to throw their garbage in. My classmates and I conducted an experiment. We found that most students just threw their garbage into the closest bin. So we decided to educate all the different grades. We made separate presentations according to grade level to educate them about climate change and the threat it poses to the rest of the world. The day we presented to my little sister's 1st grade class, she said that 6 students helped pick up garbage with her during lunch. We were happy to know that we were already making a difference. Our next project was a movie night where we showed the documentary The Inconvenient Truth by Al Gore. A detail that really stood out to me was that due to sea level rising, in about 50 years, the sea level will rise so much that the Bay Area, our home, would be completely submerged. This very building we are now in would be underwater. We hoped the movie would bring awareness and discussion about climate change. Over 60 people attended. The movie night was so popular, we showed another later in the year, How to Let Go of the World and Love All Things Climate Can't Change by Josh Fox. We also took a school field trip to the San Leandro Waste Management Plant to learn more about trash. 5 million pounds of trash are brought to this landfill every day, just at this site, which serves only half of the Alameda County. And of that 5 million pounds, 60% could have been recycled or composted. Next, we presented at the 2017 YES conference on how we started to address climate change at our school. My current school, Lincoln Middle, has about 74% of the school taking energy-efficient transportation to and from school. We have been named as a NOAA Ocean Guardian School for our work on conservation, waste management, and environmental education for the 4th year in a row. Last year, Lincoln was honored as a California Green Ribbon School, gold level, for our overall environmental efforts. I am proud to attend a school where we do many great things to combat climate change. Unfortunately, our environmental science elective classes were eliminated this year due to budget cuts. The average temperature is on the rise. One of the consequences is a prolonged fire season. Thousands of people have been affected by prolonged fire seasons that burn hotter and longer. The December 2017 Santa Rosa fires had a devastating effect on air quality all around the Bay Area. There was a shelter in place for a week at school. We couldn't eat outside and PE classes were all held inside. Walking between classes, I noticed some students wore masks. It was especially difficult for students and staff who rode their bikes or walked to school. I rode my bike in the hazy smoke where I couldn't even recognize the sun among the smog. Imagine a life where you can't go outside to walk your dog, can't go outside to play at the park with your children, can't go hiking to enjoy the nature. Imagine a life where the sun, moon, and stars are obscured by heavy smog. International Coastal Cleanup Day is celebrated annually on the third Saturday in September. Last year, over 500,000 volunteers removed over 18 million pounds of trash from beaches, coasts, and waterways in 112 different countries. Last year, during Coastal Cleanup Day, my family and friends went down to the Crown Memorial Beach in Alameda and spent 2 hours picking up litter. Collectively, our group picked up over 700 pieces of litter on the beach, and of that, 403 were tiny plastic pieces. There were cigarette butts, food wrappers, packaging foam, and plastic toys. Trash on the beach and in the water is bad for the environment. Occasionally, aquatic animals or birds will eat the plastic because they think it is food. When they eat too much of it, they die. Or worse, we consume the animals that eat the plastic, therefore contaminating our very own food supply. My family and friends will volunteer again this Saturday for Coastal Cleanup Day. It is because of my experiences over the last 4 years I am so passionate about climate change. I've learned so much about global warming, extreme weather phenomenon, and the negative effects of climate change. I also know that this doesn't have to continue, and many effects are going around the world to reverse this trend. The first step should be to educate people. People won't do anything about global warming and pollution if they don't understand the full extent of the consequences. At my school, we care about the environment very much. Instead of eliminating our environmental science classes electives, the environmental science curriculum should be mandatory and encouraged in schools. Policymakers should put more funding into educating the future leaders of this planet. Provide more hands-on internship opportunities involving environmental issues. Create scholarships so students are encouraged to learn more about climate change, pursue careers in environmental science, and to take action. Currently, we are paying a big price for convenience. Convenience is creating more trash and hurting our planet. More products are created to add convenience by making single-serve portion packaging or single-use disposable cleaning supplies. Every plastic bag we use, every ready-made Lunchables we eat, every single-serve instant coffee container we throw away, all add up in the landfill. Instead, bring reusable water bottles and containers for lunch. Find ways to eliminate waste, even if that takes a little more effort. Use public transportation or ride a bike instead of driving. As consumers, we need to make conscientious decisions of what products to buy and what companies we support. On the flip side, business leaders must think beyond profit and more towards sustainable strategies. China is no longer accepting our plastic for recycling. The world is generating more plastic than we know what to do with. What is to happen when that all piles up everywhere? Companies must consider minimizing the packaging material or to use compostable material instead. Policymakers should also enforce environmental labelings or ratings to show the environmental consequence of buying certain products or doing businesses with various companies. This allows consumers to make informed decisions and fully understand the environmental cost of their purchases. Forcing companies to report trans fat or labeling nutrition information on foods or putting cancer warnings on cigarette packages was very effective. Companies moved away from using trans fat. Many people developed healthier habits, and the quantities of people using cigarettes went down. We can use these similar methods to drive environmentally sustainable habits. In return, the business could get a tax break for the environmentally sustainable efforts. Progress is slow, but I feel hopeful to read that companies are pledging to use 100% renewable energy. Community decisions make a huge impact. I encourage our government leaders to implement environmental regulations that benefit our planet. Even if the United States withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, I'm glad California's and others are so committed to decreasing greenhouse gas emissions. California has a rich history of leading programs that benefit the environment. Decades of air quality regulations in LA has dramatically improved air quality there since 1948. The Save the Bay project that started in the 1960s closed dumps, restored wetlands, lobbied for sewer drain reform, and cleaned the San Francisco Bay water well enough to allow marine life to return. In 1973, curbside recycling started in Berkeley and is now modeled worldwide for reducing what goes into landfills. The people we vote into office are essential to our success. We are gathered here today because we know the significance of climate change and are passionate about making a difference. We will decide how to combat climate changes by the choices we make and actions we take. I encourage you to be a thoughtful consumer and be an advocate for the environment in your home, school, work, and community. Fighting climate change takes global effort. Together, we can preserve our beautiful planet for future generations.